Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Friday. This is the second time I'm doing this video. First time around, I forgot to turn on my mic. So this is going to be a late post on the video. Sorry about that. Also, just wanted to say thank you to Piperinger or @Piperinger on Twitter. He's been helping me update my numbers for DMG, which I had wrong. I apologize for that. So we'll look at that at the end of the video. But we'll talk about, obviously, Bitcoin's down today. Markets are down today as well. So we'll take a look at the miners, see how they did today, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll also take a look at stories on, we may have a deja vu with the NASDAQ coming up here. At least Peter Brandt thinks so. And then we'll talk about also retail investors, how they're not going into Bitcoin right now. We'll take a look at that based on Google Trends. So we'll take a look at Google Trends as well, and then we'll take a look at DMG. All right. So as always, not financial advice. You know the drill here. I'm investing in the following companies and coins. And let's take a look at the miners here. So the miners had a bad day. I had a bad couple days here. If we look at them here closer. So Annie was down today 0.62% to $1.61. It looks like they may have reached a bottom here at $1.55 now in the after hours or towards the after hours for the low. Argo was down 3.6% to 80 cents. Digital was down 5.39% to $2.28. It obviously hit a low here of $2.26. Bitfarms was down 5.92% to $2.86. Cleanspark was down 6.49% to $7.92. It was last time it was at 547, sorry, for the low here. We're coming back down pretty close to that. Might be a good buying opportunity again for them. Well, pretty much for all these miners, is probably a pretty good buying opportunity if you believe Bitcoin's going to go back up. Cores was down 4.86% to $6.27. Digihost was down 8.42% to $2.72. DMG was down 2.35% to 43 cents. Hive was down 4.73% to $1.61. Hut 8 was down 5.34% to $3.90. It looks like in the after hours it came as low as $3.86, which is a new low for it as well. Iris Energy was up actually 0.95% to $10.67. Luxxfolio was down 6.25% to 22 cents. Marathon was down 6.06% to $18.15. It looks like it has reached a new low here. I think the last time we were this low was about a year and 2 or 3 months ago. So everything is way down right now. Mawson was down 7.4% to $3.73. And Riot was down 7.42% to $11.85. And it looks like it hit a low after hours to $11.82. And I think the last time they were this low again was back, let's see here, when's the last time we were this low? This was back in, where did we go? We were here, 1182, 1182, going back, 1182, so somewhere around here, so back in December of 2020, so obviously a ways out. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin right now is at 39,598. We obviously have had the last couple of days being kind of rough. And we have this on the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily chart. We can see it here. We had a nice break out on Thursday. Which was this? This was 22nd. That was today. Yesterday, Thursday, we were up at almost 43,000. Obviously, Papa Powell spoke in the morning, and then everything fell down afterwards. So it's kind of rough on the RSI. We're not looking too bad. I think we're okay there. But I do think we may come back down and test our support here at 37,500 in the coming days and weeks, possibly. If that happens, if we look at the 1 hour chart, we're seeing that obviously RSI dipped today to about 22. Last time we were this low was back here, and that was back on the 18th of April, which we were at 38,900. So we're about 700 or so higher than we were back then, with the RSI still being the same. So I think we're okay on the 1 hour chart at least. It's looking like we may be going back up, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go back down and test the 37,500 mark before we continue going back up. We'll see. We'll have to see how that goes. Ethereum is at 2,956, following obviously Bitcoin has obviously fallen below the 50-day average, 20-day average as well, which isn't a good sign. We did bet obviously with a 200-day moving average here on yesterday, but we've obviously fallen from that. So it'll be interesting weekend to see what happens there. And then obviously Monday we may see a little bit of an uptick, I think, as people kind of buy the dip here on it. So, but we'll see. All right, so let's take a look at the first story here, which is the NASDAQ has .com crash deja vu, says trader as Bitcoin correlation rises. So the NASDAQ 100 is looking increasingly like it did in the year 2000, warns Peter Brandt, and that has no positive implications for Bitcoin. So in a tweet on April 22nd, popular trader Peter Brandt highlighted similarities between the NASDAQ 100 and DX now and 20 years ago. Deja vu all over again. So Bitcoin has shown itself to be highly correlated to U.S. equities this year. In particular, BTC recently became attached to the NDX, which has not passed by some of the industry's best-known names. Brandt, who himself gained attention for predicting some of the Bitcoin's historical price bottoms, now believes that the NASDAQ itself is echoing its performance from the year 2000. So now it's obviously 42 years ago. It's not 42 years ago. Sorry, 22 years ago. The height of the dot-com crash. Calling it deja vu all over again, he uploaded a chart showing the structural similarities. So we can see here in 2000, and obviously we're seeing this possible deja vu here again in 2022 with the way things happened. The only thing is, obviously, we had different dynamics back in the year 2000. There was obviously a lot of hype around the dot-com sector, companies that were going public, like Pets.com, some of the other ones. We also had, 3Com, all those were all, supposedly the next greatest thing, but the internet just wasn't as robust as it is today. We also have a lot of high-tech companies like Google, Apple, everything else is just making billions of dollars monthly, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. So we'll have to see if this is actually a deja vu, or is it one of those things where we had it back here, where we had a little bit of dip back in 2018, 2019 possibly. So we'll see if that's the case or not. But as Cointelegraph noted, April 21st, stock sell-off had an immediate knock-on effect on Bitcoin, which briefly dipped below 40,000 and continued to threaten the breakdown on April 22nd's Wall Street Open. So we obviously saw that here, and then here's the correlation that they're showing between Bitcoin and NDX. NDX is obviously the orange line here, and Bitcoin, obviously the charts, the bar charts here, which, looking at it, it does look like they're pretty correlated right now. But less than a year to run. So zooming out, however, and not everyone believes Bitcoin's correlated fate will last for long. So William Clement, lead insights analyst at mining firm Blockware, specifically gave their relationship less than a year to play out. He's quoted as saying, going to go on the record and say that I think we see a decorrelation between Bitcoin and stocks in the next 12 months. And once this transfer of supply is complete, he declared, if and when this occurs, it would be quite reflexive and powerful, which is a good sign. Clement was referring to what he sees as the transfer of BTC from correlation trading traditional finance entities to crypto natives, high net worth individuals, and forward-looking institutions. This boring sideways range is an equilibrium of this transfer, in my opinion, he added in a tweet on April 18th. So I can agree with him. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart here with NDX being with it as well. So here's that. Go to percentage-wise. So looking at it on the 5-day range, you can definitely see that there's some correlation here between the NDX, which is the orange line here, and then obviously Bitcoin being all of these here. And you can see that when NDX opens up higher, you can see Bitcoin going up higher as well. But it's almost like this was when was this? We've had quite a range here, 21st. Yeah, so obviously it went up and then it came back down here. This was yesterday, Thursday. We saw this kind of happen. And then obviously today we've seen this continuation on. But if you look out further out, going out a month, we can see that Bitcoin is down 6.6%, while the NDX is down 7.87%. There's still some correlation here on the monthly chart if you look at it. But going out even further to like 3 months, you can see that there's still a slight similarity, but it's becoming to be a little bit more not as coupled. So Bitcoin was up 11.78% in 3 months time frame, while NDX is down 5.22%. You go out 6 months, and you see the kind of opposite, where NDX is down 13.5%, while Bitcoin is down 35% for the 6 months. And then going out a full year, you can see that NDX is down only 4%, while Bitcoin is down 22%. And going all the way out, I wish I had like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We could do it that way. But you can see over the 5-year run, Bitcoin is up 3,062%, while NDX is up only 145%. So eventually, I think we're going to decouple again. If we looked at it on a yearly time frame, I don't know if we can do this here, if this will actually work, but we can probably see how these two have been coupling and decoupling over this time frame. I mean, looking here, going back, let's go back to, yeah, I mean, you can see NDX is up 44% here between, what is this, May 2020 and May 2021. You can see NDX is up 44%, while Bitcoin is up 303%. So there's periods, I think, where they couple and decouple over time. Obviously, if you're looking at the shorter time frame, under a month, 3 months, they do look like they're correlated. But in a long picture form, if you look at it, they are obviously decoupled for the most part. So just wanted to point that out. And then next story is on retail investors. So retail interest in Bitcoin is dwindling, Google data suggests. We'll take a look at some of the Google Trends data here in a little bit. But here's, so Google Trends allows users to compare the relative volume of searches. This, however, does not mean that the total number of searches for that term is decreasing, but it just means its popularity is decreasing compared to other searches. A line trending downward means that the search term popularity relative to other popular terms is decreasing, right? So here's what they're saying. So the worldwide searches for Bitcoin have reached mid-2020 levels as of April 22nd, with readings of 17 for the week of April 17th through the April 23rd. This is a relative drop from May 2021's reading of 76. We'll take a look at it here, but here's what they're saying basically. Bitcoin has risen in price several times, with its investment threshold becoming higher for new users, explained Johnny Liu, CEO of KuCoin, in a Telegram message. But many new cryptocurrencies known as altcoins have appeared since, which according to users can be more attractive as an investment. So what he's saying there is, obviously, with Bitcoin price being at above 40,000, above 30,000, the retail investor is just not finding it that attractive to purchase it, because even if it goes up 100%, that goes up to 80,000. You're only making 100% on that investment. Whereas if you go into these altcoins that are 20 cents, 15 cents, $1 even, they go up $10, you're up 1,000%, right? So that's kind of a no-brainer why retail's going into the altcoins, NFTs even, and you're seeing more of this institutional investors getting into Bitcoin as the price has gone up, right? So that's kind of what they're talking about here. Igor Voltkovich, the executive director of cross-chain solutions Evo DeFi, seconded the sentiment. Decentralized finance, non-fungible tokens, and blockchain gaming are areas of interest that are now enticing investors across the board, he said. And then, let me see, I think this was, retail investors are more interested in exploring these other innovations the blockchain ecosystem now offers, which explains the declining search trends irrespective of the price differentials between now and the past 2 years, Voltkovich added. So Google Trends do not reflect institutional and professional interest, and I believe that current prices reflect those groups' interest and entering the market more than pure retail. He sent an email to CoinDesk. With Bitcoin maturing, we will see less retail impact, with exceptions of times of peak bull cycles and more influence from institutional demand, Zupan added. Firms like business analytics maker MicroStrategy and electric car maker Tesla have purchased billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in the past 2 years, unlike previous cycles in 2018 and earlier. So last time around in 2017, we had that huge bull run where we were up, Bitcoin was at $500 or $600 and went up to 20,000 almost. And then towards the end of the year, obviously it fell into 2018, but that was mostly driven by retail investors and even possibly high net worth investors as well, but not by institutions. And as the Bitcoin price has obviously gone up, we've seen less and less retail interest in it over the years. And I think it's going to continue on, obviously, with the price where it is, like I explained, Bitcoin at 40,000, 80,000, 100%, get into altcoins. At $1, it goes up to $10, you're up 1,000%. So there's that difference that's driving retail into altcoins. All right. Now let's take a look at the trend data here. So here's Bitcoin in blue, NFTs in red, Avalanche. I added in there. I think they spoke about it in the article. I added that in there as well. So you can see here in 2017, we had this huge spike in Bitcoin interest. It obviously waned a little bit. Then we had another spike here in it after starting in December of 2020 and into basically May 16th was the peak that we've had here. And then it's obviously come down. It's been kind of trading sideways a little bit and going down as far as the interest is concerned. However, at that same time frame, we've had NFTs starting out in approximately March area 2021 go up over time, especially into the peak here in, this would be in January of this year, and then start falling back down. So I wonder if the interest in NFTs is waning a little bit too. I think that might be a little oversaturated or overhyped a little bit right now. And we've seen this with some NFTs not selling like they thought they were going to sell. So we'll have to see how this goes. But obviously, kind of interesting to take a look at that as well. All right. Finally, let's take a look at DMG. So like I promised, and I thank Pipe Ringer on Twitter for pointing this out to me and helping me get this figured out. Here is their latest announcement from March 8th of 2022. I must have missed this somehow. So here's the important part of it. As previously reported, DMG has ordered 7,850 S19J Pros and 1,800 S19 XPs Bitcoin miners from Bitmain for a total hash rate of 1,037 petahash. Currently, DMG is operating on an average of 510 petahash and has received approximately 50% of its hash rate orders. All right. So that's the important part here. Let's take a look at what I got wrong and what things we corrected to get it to be correct. So first things first, these older miners here that were reported back on April 7th, May 27th of 2020, and then March 22nd of 2021. Some of the unknowns, the M30s and the unknowns, those are gone. Those have been basically got rid of those. Pipe Ringer provided me some information from a conference call from the company that they reported some of those were basically taken out. And based on that information, and so those are gone here now. The April 19th are still here. The April 26th numbers are still here, but they have been combined to make sense for the petahash that they reported for January, February, and March. But it's still the same. So the 1800 is here. If you look down here, we got 1800. And we also have 1800 that was reported here. Actually, I had 1601 for some reason here. But that has been corrected to 1800. And for some reason, I had April 26 numbers in here twice. I'm surprised I didn't catch it. Must have been a late night when I was working on this. And I'm surprised you guys didn't catch it either. You guys are usually pretty good at catching my mistakes. So it's my fault, though. I got this wrong. So thank you again to Pipe Ringer for this. This got corrected, so those are out. The other thing that I made a mistake on was on the S19 XPs. I got those for some reason for 12 months instead of 6 months to the 1800. Excuse me. So those are now 1800 of those, as they should be. And we are at 1,037 petahash, like the company has reported here. So this has all been corrected. Again, my apologies for making this mistake. I do this in my spare time and when I have time, and sometimes I do this at night, and obviously maybe it was too late of a night for doing this, so I do apologize for that. We do have the numbers obviously corrected now. So thanks again to Pipe Ringer. I'm going to continue thanking him for pointing this out to me. And then if you guys ever see any mistakes that I make, please point them out to me. Like I said, I'm only human and I do make mistakes, and this way we can at least make sure the numbers are correct. So if we do the miner versus miner comparison for the small cap stocks, I do see that the DMG right now is at 43 cents, which basically makes them right on par where I think they should be with 75% income with the price to earnings multiple of 20. That's with the price to earnings multiple of 20. I think they are, let me see if I have that set up correctly for them, that I'm not using some different numbers. Oh, actually I have them at 5. So this is actually at 5 right now. If we go to the 20 mark on it, Let me make sure I have Digihost set up as well, the same way I took that down for comparison. So at 20, which I don't think they're going to be getting there because of their low hash rate, future hash rate as well. I don't think they're going to be getting there, but what's the other one? Luxxfolio. Luxxfolio is at 3. To make things all comparable, we'll go with 20. But ideally, I think in all reality, I think maybe at 8 to 10 price to earnings multiple would be kind of a good sign to go with. But if we're going with 20 here, I would have them at $1.63. Obviously, Bitcoin starts pumping. That is obviously a possibility. For DMG, I would have Digihost at basically $11.27. And Luxxfolio would be at $1.31. So obviously, there is some upside potential. Current hash rate, obviously, at 597 petahash for DMG. Digihost is at 1 exahash, and they are about 87% installed, whereas DMG is about 57% installed right now, based on the numbers. And if we're looking at the future, I would have to say that, $2.84 might not be that bad of a mark for DMG because they are still growing. Digihost, obviously, at $12.89. And Luxxfolio would be at 272, which would be probably one of the best ones that go up. But their hash rate is just so low, I don't even think they're going to get there. I would think for Luxxfolio, if you're getting a 5 PE to 7 PE on those should be pretty close to that. But we're going with the 20 here. So let's change that down to what we actually think those could be, and then we'll take a look at the numbers again. So DMG, let's bring that down to possibly around 10. We'll do the same thing for Digihost, bring it down to 10. See where the numbers stack up now, and then we'll take Luxxfolio down to about 8, since they are about the smallest one here that we have as far as future hash rate is concerned. Well, bring it down to 8. So let's see how that stacks up now. Oop, wrong one. So now we're looking at potentially $1.42 for DMG, Digihost $6.45, and Luxxfolio $1.09. So it still looks like Luxxfolio could be possibly the better one here. If we're looking at obviously the market cap per petahash, DMG has the best one, Digihost, and then Luxxfolio. So that's why those could possibly go up a little bit higher in percentages, especially Luxxfolio. So let me know what you guys think of the numbers. Obviously, my apologies for getting those numbers wrong for DMG. Again, thank you for Pipe Bringer for pointing that out. It was nice communicating with him on Twitter there. The spreadsheet obviously is going to be available to Patreon members later on tonight once I finish this video. And thank you so much for the Patreon members. You guys are awesome there supporting me. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see what happens over the weekend. Might post a video if something does. We'll probably do the miners versus Bitcoin tomorrow. See, it's going to be a bad week for all of them. But it'll be interesting who actually did better than Bitcoin. So that's it. Have a wonderful weekend. See you guys in the next one. Bye.